Let's start, Binduji.
Yep.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. Today being Friday, we have an open discussion. So we have done 18 rooms. Binduji has conducted 18 separate classes, and there was an introductory talk. And all these are available if you want to go listen to it. It's available on YouTube, Advaita Retold channel. I've pasted the link. You can also listen to them on replays in the house. So that will be a good way of revisiting, to come back to what Binduji is guiding us towards the outlook that he wants to share. So that will be more meaningful when you ask questions. So with that, I'll open the chat, and hand raising are available for you to come up. So Sapti has raised his hand, so I'll pull him up.
Namaste. Kelkununda. Namaste.
Namaste. Right.
I'm unable to speak in English. I would like to speak in Malayalam because of I'm poor in English. Binduji just translate it. അതായത് നമ്മള് പിന്നെ ഈ കർമ്മത്തിനുള്ള കർമ്മം, അതായത് ഇപ്പൊ കർമ്മം, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കർമ്മം, ആ ചെയ്യുന്ന കർമ്മം നമ്മളിപ്പോ ജനിക്കുന്ന കാലം മുതൽക്ക് മരിക്കുന്ന കാലം കർമ്മം. ആ കർമ്മത്തിന്റെ ഇത് നമ്മൾ അടുത്ത ജന്മത്തില് നമ്മളിലേക്ക് ഇതേ കർമ്മം തന്നെ വരുമോ, അതോ പുതിയതായിട്ടാണോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ ജന്മത്തിന്റെ കർമ്മമായിട്ടാണോ വരുന്നത്? പൂർവജന്മ പാപം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പൂർവജന്മ കൃതപാപം അത് തനിയായിട്ട് വരുമോ, അതോ പുതിയതായിട്ടുള്ളതായിട്ടാണ് വരുന്നത്? എങ്ങനെയാന്ന് വെച്ചോ അതറിയാട്ടോ. നമസ്തേ. താങ്ക് യു.
Binduji, you're muted. Anyway,
yeah.
just yes.
Yeah, just can hear me, no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Satya, your name, what have you written? Either there is a spelling mistake which I should correct, or if you have written it correctly, I want to know. Because Satyam Vedanam Ta 666 is what is written. എന്താണ് ശരിയായ പേര്? അതില് എഴുതിയാൻ വിചാരിച്ചത് വേദാന്തം എന്നാണ്.
ശരിയ പേര് പ്രജിത്ത് എന്നാണ് പേര്.
പ്രജിത്ത് അല്ല, അതൊക്കെ അവിടെ എഴുതാൻ എന്താ വിചാരിച്ചത്?
സത്യവേദാനന്ദ് ദത്ത്. സത്യവേദാനന്ദ് എന്നാണ് ഞാൻ എഴുതിയത്. അത് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് ഞാൻ കിട്ടുന്നുള്ളൂ, വേറെ ഒന്നുമില്ല.
വേദാനന്ദ് എന്നുള്ളത് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ഉണ്ട്. there is a spelling mistake in it.
ഓ, സത്യവേദാനന്ദ്. സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ഉണ്ടോ? ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലല്ല, ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലോ മലയാളത്തിലോ? മറ്റേ
അല്ല, സംസ്കൃതത്തിൽ എഴുതിയോണ്ടാ ഞാൻ പറയണത്.
ഓക്കെ, അത് ഹിന്ദി ഇതായിട്ട് ഞാൻ എഴുതിയത്. അത് തെറ്റാണെങ്കിൽ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാക്കാൻ, ഞാൻ അടുത്തതിൽ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാക്കാൻ. സോറി.
Okay, ഹിന്ദിയിൽ എഴുതിയത് തെറ്റാണ് അത്. Okay, your question is that regarding karma, from the time of birth till death, karma is being part of our living. And if karma is the reason for a rebirth, the karma done in a previous life, will it be the reason why the life in the next birth be controlled? Is the question which you have asked. I am translated that for English so that those who are not familiar with those who cannot know Malayalam can understand that. Now there are two aspects of it. Satya, I am answering in English only so that everybody can understand that. If you don't understand, you can ask me, I'll explain in Malayalam. Okay, there are two aspects of it. Karma is affecting life. Then first of all, we have to take it that there is a birth, there is a growth, the Shat Vigaram, the 6 formations, and the death for this Jiva. And that continuing in the next life will be there for those who think that these are all valid and happening. Now, in the Advaita and as per the Bhagavad Gita, there is no birth, no death, nor even the 6 vikaras for the Atma. And the body is a object along with everything else in the world, like the trees and the birds, mountains and everything. Our body is also a phenomena which is experienced only by the waking. So, as per Advaita, there is no rebirth, which has been very clearly mentioned yesterday by me when explaining that Vasansi Jirnani Yada Vihaya, that mantra, that shloka. That the shloka is only talking about the example of a person changing the dress. Is the same person, same way Atma is unchanging or is the only truth. What is changing cannot be the truth. So the unchanging Atma is the truth. To drive home that mantra is the shloka has been given. Now, people who believe there is a birth and a rebirth and etc. are the people who do not know the reality. They are controlled or they are rather guided by their ignorance, which things makes them feel that there is a birth and death, etc. So those who are there are the people who are under the avidya or maya. So in reality there is no birth, no rebirth. But if you are not understood that and you are under the grip of or you are under the influence of avidya or maya, then there is a birth and the death. But in the avidya, they have been not able to explain why did the first birth take place. That avidya has not been able to tell, because it has to be a reason from the previous birth. But why do you say that the first birth took place without any reason? That this maya, those who are under the maya or the avidya has not been able to explain. But avidya or maya is something which is not there. It is only felt as if it is there, like the snake and the rope or the waves in the water, etc. as per Advaita. So if you want to know the truth, you have to follow the path of Advaita and understand that. Is it clear now? മനസ്സിലായോ? സത്യക്ക് മനസ്സിലായോ?
അതായത് ഒരു സംശയമുണ്ട്. അതായത് നമ്മളിപ്പോ ശരീരം എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ, ശരീരം. അപ്പൊ ശരീരം എടുക്കുന്നത് ശരീരം എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അത് മാറ്ററാണ്. മാറ്റർ എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ശരീരം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് അത് ആത്മാവിന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രമുള്ളതാണോ ശരീരം, അതോ ശരീരത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയാണോ ആത്മാവ്?
ശരീരം is not for the Atma alone. Shariram is a experience when you have ignorance. Like how you experience a snake in a rope, this shariram or this world is only experienced by the waker when he is in the waking. When he is in dream, this body is not there, this shariram is not there, this world is not there. And when he is in deep sleep, neither the dream nor the waking is available. So they are all things which are there for experience at a particular period of time, and it is not permanent. So what comes and goes is not something which is permanent or the truth. They are all bhranti, illusion, or appearance, whatever name you want to give, you can give that. So shariram is not a reality. മനസ്സിലായോ?
അതായത് that means only the body is only the physical one, that's all, no?
No. ശരീരം നമ്മുടെ ഒരു തോന്നലാണ്. അത് ആ സ്വപ്നത്തിൽ എങ്ങനെ ശരീരം ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് തോന്നണത് മതി തന്നെയാണ് ജാഗ്രതത്തിലും ശരീരം ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നത്. അത് ജാഗ്രത വിട്ടു പോകുമ്പോ ആ ശരീരം നമ്മുടെ ഒപ്പം ഇല്ല. സ്വപ്നത്തിൽ പോകുമ്പോ വേറെ ശരീരമാണ്, വേറെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആണ്. അത് ഡീപ് സ്ലീപ്പിൽ പോകുമ്പോ ജാഗ്രതോ സ്വപ്നവും രണ്ടും ഇല്ല. അപ്പൊ ഇതൊക്കെ അനുഭവിക്കുന്ന കാലത്തുള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് അതിനെയാണ് മിഥ്യ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവിദ്യ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. കാരണം എന്താ വെച്ചാല് നമ്മളെ അനുഭവിക്കുന്ന സർപ്പം ശരിയല്ല. അതിന്റെ ശരിയായ സർപ്പം എന്താണ്? കയറാണ്. ആ കയറിനെ അറിയാത്തപ്പോ സർപ്പം ശരിയാണെന്ന് തോന്നും. പക്ഷെ ആ കയറ് ശരിയാണെന്ന് തോന്നിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സർപ്പത്തിന് അവിടെ നിലനിൽപ്പില്ല. അതേമാതിരി തന്നെ നമ്മള് ശരീരമല്ല ആത്മാവാണെന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാല് പിന്നെ ഈ ശരീരത്തിന് നിലനിൽപ്പില്ല.
ആശ്ചര്യമുള്ള സംഗതിയാണ് കേൾക്കുമ്പോഴേ. അമേസിംഗ്, അതൊരു ആശ്ചര്യം, അതായത് അമേസിംഗ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സംഗതി അത് കേൾക്കുമ്പോഴേ. അത് ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു. കണ്ടിന്യൂ. വേറെ ചോദിച്ചോളൂ. താങ്ക് യു.
ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു സത്യ. നമസ്തേ വെങ്കട്ട്.
I'll let Srinivas ask some questions because I have quite many questions today.
Okay, too many questions for you. Okay.
I also have endless amount of questions because
Okay, go ahead. Both of you take all the time I have. I can stay whole night also if you want.
I listened multiple times the replay. I'm still trying to formulate my questions. I guess Venkatji is also in the same state, I guess. So starting. So I think that one part I'm thinking is the first pada of this shloka is in the Bhashya I didn't feel the distinction, but I think on Wednesday's class it was more about, like you said, it is like a Asparsha yoga of Gaudapada. It is establishing the non-doer nature or impossibility of karma and Atman, right, Bilaji? Is that the right understanding?
Yes, that's right.
And on Thursday it shifted to, I think it is more of a continuous explanation, and based on the Purva Pakshi's questions, the topic got shifted to things like karma sannyasa, right?
Right.
Okay, so then this, that I understood. Then the karma sannyasa, how is it related to the asparsha? How is that relation? I was reading the text of the Bhashya also. So I think it is an argument where the Purva Pakshi is asking, something like, the rights of the Vedas are prescribed to the ignorant avidushi, and the seeker, or the what you call as a qualified student, is, for him it is like a jnanakanda of the yoga, and something like that. That question where it all started, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So sarva karma sannyasa is prescribed for whom?
That was my question. Is it a prescription in the sense?
It's a prescription for a qualified student. And that is why he also very clearly said that for whom is this applicable, he has very clearly mentioned. Just listen to it again. For a jnani who has no kartrutva, bhoktrutva, neither the enjoyership or authorship, for him there is nothing to abandon or renounce. So for him, karma sannyasa, sarva karma sannyasa is not applicable. For a non-seeker, it is not applicable because he doesn't even come to the level of this thing. So only to the mumukshu who has not yet understood, and even those people who are pandidam manye, those who know the reality but they have not matured or made it as a wise man. Theoretically they know it, but they are not able to, from experientially or from their, manasa vijijñāsasva. So manaseva anugandavyam. All those things, anudrishtavyam. When he says that, it is for that person who has had that aparokshanubhuti, for that person there is nothing called sannyasa at all. He for him, everything is, it's sarvam khalu idam brahma only. But for a mumukshu and a safaravad pandidam manye, Mumukshu is trying to learn the Shastras and understand it and abide by it. Whereas a Pandita Manye who pretend to be a knower of the truth, his actions do not show because he has authorship and enjoyership exhibiting, coexisting with the knowledge. That means he has a textual knowledge, but he is not he is able to see it as his own experience, that he doesn't consider himself as Atma. So these two people, the Sarva Karma Sannyasa is required to get the state of authorlessness and enjoyership, avoiding that also.
Okay, so then there was further, almost at the end, there was an objection that does this mean that through mind we do the karma sannyasa of the vak and the body? For that also, it is said no, that is not the right way to understand. So, so that is the exact question actually, because in the Bhashya also it's only a one-line reply. So actually what does that question mean and what is the answer provided, if you remember, or I have that in... Shall I read those two lines, Binduji?
No. It's the same thing too. He is asking two sets of questions. First question is that, is it a mental activity? The Sarva Karma Sannyasa, is it a mental activity? Because Kaikam and Vachikam, both by other sense organs and everything, he will be continuously acting and all those things. So there will be a, what you call, activity which is authored by him for his own living and these other activities. So is it only for the mentally he has to do and continue to do his other activities by other sense organs, the 5 sense organs? So Shankaracharya says no, it is not that way. He has no iota of authorship or enjoyership. So it is not mental alone or by the other sense organs. That is Yatrana Anya Pasiri Anya Shrunodi Anya Vijanati, that statement will become valid only if he doesn't have the authorship or enjoyership. Then he puts a reverse question. He abandons all physical and all the activity, sensory activity. Mentally he is, active. So Shankaracharya, even that he refuses, saying that no, even mentally he cannot be having the idea that I am the author or an enjoyer. So both the things he is avoiding, that is, he is a sarva karma, that is a word. The sarva is used as a adjective for karmani, only to include that it is not only mental, it is also in all sorts of karma, it is included in it. That is why the word sarva is used as an adjective for karmani.
Yeah, so here there is also one line where I think the Vedantin is only telling that the mind is prior to the vak and body. So when the vak and body are acting, that means the mind is already functioning, something like that is there, Novindaji. And also this prescription of karma sannyasa, through what instrument or what is the tool to follow the karma sannyasa? These two are also, I didn't understand. Yeah.
Okay. From the point of view of the jnani, we are not discussing at all, because for him there is no sarva karma
it's only
sannyasa
for the
applicable.
seeker.
Only for the seeker. From the seeker's point of view, it is not only mental, but also physical or sensory activities. Both kaikam and vachikam and manasikam. All the three actions and authorship and enjoyership has to be abandoned. He has to understand that I am the Atma and it is not possible for me to be engaged in activity or enjoying the activity, because I am all those things, ajo nitya shashvato puranaha, all those things, all those things should run into the mind of the seeker at that time. That now when he comes to the Indriyas thing, Krishna will be talking about this later. Indriyani indriyarteshu vartande iti matva. So that part will come later explain when he is explaining karma sannyasa. In the 4th chapter it will come. So before that you have to understand that what he is saying is that the moment you decide that you want to be in the state of, a perfection of a mumukshu to achieve the stage of jnani, you are abandoning is a prerequisite. If you don't have that prerequisite fulfilled, but you harbor the idea that I now only mentally I am active, that feeling comes also, he will not be able to get out of the mind. Because it is in the mind, this has to happen as a yat manasa anudrishtavyam. Manasa eva anudrishtavyam is the statement. So when the mind has to be totally emptied of any ego-based thoughts of authorship and enjoyership, it is easy to do the physical or mental actions, but to do a mental activity is much, much tougher. But only with that, the final, result will be achieved for even for a mumukshu.
Okay, thank you, Binduji. This clarifies. I think bringing in the third character of the mumukshu clarified stuff, because I was only reading one as jnani and one as ajnani. Maybe I will read again and try to make sense. If I have any doubts, I'll come. Yeah. And Binduji, one last question. The second part, the karma sannyasa, is similar to what is told in the 4th sutra of Tat Samanvayat, right? This is the similar stuff, right?
Yeah, it is being referred there, but this is more to do with the practicality. There more it is on the theoretical aspect, but as in the Bhagavad Gita, it is more practical aspect of it.
Okay. And Binduji, did you finish that Chatushtri classes, or it is still? I don't remember.
The 4th sutra is pending still.
Okay, I was just okay. Thank you, Binduji. You can others can continue. Thank you.
Sorry, Hari Om Binduji.
Hari Om Venkat.
So sorry, I could not do the full class because of office meetings come up, but then I had to go back and go through this again.
No problem.
So I'll start with this parishesh nyaya, that atha parisheshyat asamhataha atma vidvan avikriyaha. That parishesh nyaya, to define atman as a gnani swarupa, right? Gnani as atma swarupa. That gnani is, they use this parishesh nyaya, that one who eliminated with that differentiating that using buddhi as atma viveka, removed all the body, mind, intellect, everything, including ahankara. That parishesha nyaya is used for defining this atman. The gnana is a sort of what is left after knocking off all of this jada, right? That's the
Parishesha Nyaya is the other name for Parishesha Nyaya is Neti.
Okay, so this is the other name. Okay, then it's clear, Binduji. I saw that it used. Now I think I'm stepping into the same domain that Srini was questioning, right? Avikriyatma darshino vidusho sarvakarma sannyasa evadikaraha. That is used once here, and yesterday's class again it come up. Right, in the yesterday's class, again I'll repeat a reference. Sampurvastu nyasa shabdo tyagartaha na nikshepartaha tasmat gita shastro atma gnanavataha samnyase evadikaraha. So this sarvakarma sannyasa, the way I deduced it is for the one who is on that path of gnana.
Yes.
And one who is on path of gnana has a choice because there is a trace of ego left. Only choice he has is to choose that nyasa shabda, that only to denounce is the only option available for such seeker. Otherwise, that sannyasa is, denouncing, basically. That separation is done in the yesterday class. Sannyasa evadikara. That was used. Nivrutti is the only adhikara for such mumukshu.
Right.
So that's the deduction, right, Binduji? That's correct deduction.
Yeah. See, Nyasa Shabda has got two meanings.
Yeah.
One is renouncing and the other one is placing or locating. Where place, in the sense that locating means not searching and locating, but placing in one place. Nishepa. That's the artha. That is the two meaning for the verbal root Nyasa Shabda. So some Purvaka means some is the prefix when it is coming. Some Nyasa means Samyak Nyasa. Means at most renunciation. That is Samyak means at most. At most renunciation, and it is not that some, when it is used in the Nyasa Shabda, can only have the meaning of renunciation, but not as a placement, because Atma has no location where you can place it. So, a Atmavataha, a person who is in the path of knowledge, cannot be placed in any of those, any location or any category or anywhere. Like in the Varnashrama or category or any of the placements we're using. There is a Adhikarana requirement. Adhikarana means substratum. But for a sannyasa, when it is a renunciation doesn't need a location. It is just abandoning things, that's all. Where it is going, nobody is worried about when you are taking the sannyasa. So that is the explanation of Sampurvaka Nyasa Shabda. Is not for a Nikshepartha.
Perfect, Binduji. See, this one brings an interesting dimension. That's a Nivrutti Marga. The whatever is chosen is a Nivrutti Marga, where the trace of ego now chosen to let go, right? Now, that means even the pravrutti is a choice, no?
No, see, the thing is that he is not using the ego. He is even renouncing the ego. It is not through ego he is renouncing. How can renunciation take place if you have ego?
Now then the path itself will be dual, right? Because that path of what is told, Vivimavata Patanau, Pantanau, or that Jnana Yogena Sankyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Yoginam, yes.
That either was the path is past specified is for a seeker only. That there is a preamble. If you continue the same Pashya, Kriya Pataschaiva Purastat Paschat Samnyasascha. That means the Kriya Pata is a preamble, pre-qualifier. Pre-qualifier even for sannyasa means.
No, not that way. It is not that way. It is that those who are in the path of karma are people with, desires and hope and expectation for results. So for them, karma is given in the Purva Mimamsa of the Vedas. And the later part of the Uttara part of the Veda, where the Vedanta or Upanishad is there, it is for the Nivritti Marga, for people who are there. That is the word in between. That mantra from Mundaka Upanishad is lying very important as Parikshilokan Karmajitan Brahmana Nirvedamaya Nastya Krita Kritena Tasmat Sa Gurumeva Bigached Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. That mantra is actually in the middle of these two, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga.
Okay, then the key takeaway is that sannyasa evadikara is even letting go the ego is the right meaning then.
Yes. If you have even have an iota of ego, you cannot have sannyasa. Samyak Nyasa means at most renunciation. Which is the last one to renounce is your own ego. Because as long as you hold on to ego, you cannot renounce 100%. The moment you renounce your ego, then there is no I. The person doesn't have an I. Right?
Perfect, Binduji. But without Gnana, you can't let go.
That is true. That is right.
It's a contrast, you know.
Yes.
So, it's a chicken or egg problem.
It is not a chicken or egg. It's very clear. Jnaneneva kaivalyam.
I think we'll keep it that way, Binduji, because you can't solve certain things at the end. Final. This can't be solved because of it is part of the experience of let go. So we'll keep it that way. We'll keep it that way. Now there is this portion. The gnana will, eventually gnanam cha utpadyamanam tadviparitam agnanam avashyam badate iti abhyapagantavyam. That means the gnana is essential to diminish the ignorance.
Yes, that's only job of Jnana.
Only job of Gnana. That means, and it is self-evident also.
Yes.
So if it is so, that means the Gnana, what you often refer to as knowledge, as a reference, it has an inherent ability to diminish the Agnanam. By nature of itself is like that. Like an antidote for a poison. So the antidote job is over, it diminishes the poison. But a Gnani uses that even to, sort of use that to teach the disciples. Yesterday you took an example of something in the hand, right? A gooseberry in the hand. You can't deny it. It is available. That's the Gnanam is then it talks about anything that talks about nature of self is Gnanam only then.
See, that is exactly what Krishna was telling, no? And Shankaracharya's commentary also is explaining to us in simple terms. Krishna's statement in the Gita appears to be, cryptic slokas, which when we read in the Shankara's Bhashya, only then we can understand what is the intent of Krishna's, uttering those slokas. What he says there is very serious. Atma is Nitya. The word Nitya is harping upon all the slokas which we read till now. Which shows that if it is Nitya, it has to be present here and now, this very moment, to all of us. But at the same time, why are we not knowing that we are Atma? We think we are human being, we are embodied in a body-mind complex and enjoying suffering, etc. That is because of Jnana Abhava, that absence of the knowledge that I am Atma. Now, knowing that I am Atma from a textual or from a guru may not fructify into a full knowledge as I am Atman or I am Brahmasmi, unless the student is a apt student. Uttama Adhikari. For an Uttama Adhikari, Sravana Samakali Eva Jnanam. The moment he listens to that, he knows that I am Atma. He doesn't have to wait for any further this thing. But for all others, these three things, Satjnana Samshaya Viparriya, there are the three things: ignorance, doubt, and misconception about who we are. All the three put together is called avidya, or opposite of knowledge. So the antidote for avidya is only knowledge, because avidya cannot be removed by anything else. So what knowledge does is, removing the doubt we have, removing the ignorance we have, remove the misconceptions we have. When all these things are removed, you don't have to be again filled up with another knowledge that I am Atman. No. The removal itself, you will realize when those things are removed, I am Atman. So when I am told that I am not the waker, not the dreamer, not the deep sleeper, but I am the witness who knows that waking, deep and deep sleep is happening. I am the one who is there, unchanging, even when I am in waking, when I am in dream, or when I am in deep sleep. When that knowledge is right, there is no other knowledge required for us. But the hardened, impressions in our mind, because it is in the mind that this has to happen. That place where the knowledge has to be experienced, that is manasaiva anudrishtavyam. That when it doesn't happen, because we are trying to find out Atma as something which can be named, which can be in the form, and which can be experienced as an object other than me. That notion is the biggest stumbling block in us. The moment we realize that I cannot experience myself as an object, and it is neither a name or even the name Atma is not for it, but it is only indicative name. But we use I, that is the term I, that is the aham pratyaya vishaya. When the word was used, that aham pratyaya vishaya means the name I. The content of that is what we are, but we cannot use it as Atma or Brahman, because Atma is Brahman is the term used in the waking in the Shastras. So once we have realized that beyond the names and forms in the mind, when we know that who am I as a knowledge or awareness, as consciousness, bodham, as a bodha swarupam, nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabhava. That is the nature in which it will be shining in us. And when that shines us, there is no second one to know, because everything will be in awareness. What you see is in awareness, what you hear is in awareness, what you touch is in awareness, all experiences are awareness only. There is no content separate from awareness, which can be separated out of the awareness. But if you look at our names and forms and experiences, there the contents are separatable, because it is a mental vritti or a thought process. A thought will have a content, but an experience of I has no content for it. That is why that jnanam is self-shining only when we are completely rid of doubts, misapprehension and ignorance.
Yes, Midhuji. Totally in line. I'll try to articulate the way it is, the way I try to now digesting is that Gnanam has to be established in the Buddhi. Bodha Swarupa is as good as that is established, permanently in Buddhi, in unwavering, not shaking. That is Gnanam in a way. Right, Binduji?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is an extension to this. There is this one objection come up that Navadvara Puraha, right? That in that, what is told is Atman is in this Navadvare Pure Dehe Aste, that is used iti Visheshanu Papattehe. It is used this way. Then one who's sort of sarva karma, who's sort of, denounced everything, then this what is this Purusha doing in Navadvara? And what's the point? I think is that we'll go to the chapter 3.
Yeah, it will go beyond that. When in fact, when it is being explained, the Krishna explanation which Krishna uses is even in the 13th chapter when he says, Kshetraknyam Chabimam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. When he is talking from that point of view, it is just like that. You have to. I'm jumping that to the 13th chapter now, but don't take it right now because I need to make a preamble and for the slokas everything to come. But in a gist, I'm saying that if somebody is saying that the space is inside a drop of water, nobody will accept because they'll say, no, it is only water, there is no space in it. But it is not the case. Even a drop of water for its existence, space is required to appear there. But we don't see the space as the space which should be otherwise, we all know, to be seen as separate, like in a space inside a pot, space inside a house, etc. we were talking about. It is not that way. Same way, so when it is saying that Krishna, Kshetraknyam Chapimam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata, in every creation, that aspect of existence is present in every creation. That is what he is intending to. So that is the Navadvare Pure Hidehi. So when you are talking about the Navadvara Pura, even though that it is the human body what is being talked, why it is first about that way? Because when we are told about our own experiences, it is easy for us to apprehend it. If I tell you the taste of the coffee you had this morning, you will be able to recollect it. But if I tell Srinivas, no, the taste of coffee Venkat had this morning, how will Srini be able to judge that? No, he can't. So when the teacher is saying, he is taking to each one of us, either through Krishna or Vyasa or Upanishad or any of those teaching, they are not teaching to a person other than yourself. No, they are addressing to you. So when Krishna says Navadvare Pure Dehi, immediately you will be able to relate it to your physical body. And in the physical body, I am there as I. But that doesn't mean that word Pure means is an abode. Not you are the abode. It is just like you are not the house where you live in, but you use the house for your living. Something similar that says that way is what is being addressed as Navadvara Pure Dehi.
You can hear?
Now you were silent till now. Just now I said.
Okay. So I was not seeing the mic on, so then I started speaking. So this is a great example. That coffee was a good example, Vidhuji. I think that solves the question. So now I'm going to shut up now. Thanks, Vidhuji. This has been a good. Right. We shall so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste, Ganesh Prasad.
Namaste, Bindoji.
Namaste.
Yeah, I have been just getting satisfied by listening to all types of commentaries by you and all types of questions these two, I should say, pravritis are putting across, because they can go to any extent of, exploration, which I am unable to. And but that is giving a lot of light to the perception. My question, one lingering question, again I am not completely formulated that question. I have not yet formulated, but the thing is, you were telling that karma sannyasa, sarva karma sannyasa.
Yes.
It is meant for the seekers and the phalapekshis, isn't it?
Not phalapekshis. The pandidam manni, those who think that they have the knowledge, but they are not having the knowledge.
Okay. And these, the prescribed karmas in Vedas, like Putrakameshti and other things, for those people, those who are practicing those things, or with those anushtanas, those who are continuing that, for them this sannyasa is, sarva karma sannyasa is prescribed, no? For those karmas.
No. Those who are doing the Agnihotra, Putragameshti, Surgagameshti, Pashugameshti, or whatever may be that, they are not interested in knowing Atma.
Okay.
So their direction is Pravritti Marga.
Okay.
They will be interested in the results of the action. Yeah. Because they have two things. They have two things. One is that I am the doer of this karma. And for this karma, I have also these obligations of accumulating what are required for the yaga, etc. And after that, I am expecting the result of the karma which I have done successfully. So all these things that the doership and enjoyership is present in such a person. Such a person cannot undertake sarva karma sannyasa. Sarva karma sannyasa will be undertaken by that person who, having done the karmas for many times, found that it is not possible to achieve immortality by that, or the total freedom from karmas from that. Such a person will approach a guru and ask him, what is the nivritti marga from where I can be free from all these, bondages of karma. So to such a person, the guru will advise that what is that dve vidye veditavye paracha parachaiva. All those things will yat jnatva sarvamidam vijnadam bhavati. That all those things will be taught to him. That such a person is the now apt mumukshu, because he would have done shamadama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam. All those things he would have done. He would have qualified himself with the Shat Sambhati, Viveka and Vairagya. The part of Vairagya is the Sarva Karma Sannyasa. So, the Chatana Chatushtaya, you have Vairagya, Viveka, Shat Sambhati and Mumukshutva. And Mumukshutva as the Mumukshutva, or the freedom for, the desire for freedom from the, the worldly things, from the ranks of the worldly thing, he will be increasing his Vairagya more and more. The more Mumukshutva, more will be Vairagya. And to help that, Viveka will be the one which is helping that. And the methodology is by developing the Shat Sambhati. Because where what is Shraddha, Yama, Dhyama, all those things we know, we have heard about it enough times.
Yeah.
So such a person, when the Vairagya becomes mature, totally this thing, that is the time he does the Sarva Karma Sannyasa. That Sarva Karma Sannyasa is depending upon the ego. There, I am not even the doer, or I am not even the individual which is anymore. I am that which is prevalent or pervading through and through everything as the awareness. That knowledge, when he happens, from a mumukshu, he becomes a jnani.
Yeah. Bindoji, one question is, to get the maturity in the Viveka, should one in the initial stages pass through all these karmas? Is it necessary?
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Not necessary. There are cases and examples in the Puranas and in the Bhagavata as well as in this thing where, as born itself, they have got the vairagya to the maximum extent. They leave everything home, everything, and then in the pursuit of knowledge, they proceed to a guru. And there is the case of the Devavrata who is in the womb itself. He heard from his mother and he was talking of Advaita from the womb as an embryo or an unborn child. He was talking about the jnana. So, it is not necessary that you have to do karma for maturing this thing.
Yeah. So, in this context, in all these put together in one perspective, what would be the significance of ma phaleshu kadachana and karmanyeva adhikaraste?
That I will be explaining when the verse comes, Ganesh Prasad. You have to wait for it because there is a preamble requirement for it.
Okay.
Only then you will understand that just taking one verse and asking for a meaning is not really the right approach. Because Krishna is preparing Arjuna stage by stage, hand holding him like a toddler is helped by the parents to make walk and he becomes a sprinter later in life. Yeah. Like that.
Okay. But this one verse, maybe because we have listened to it so many times in different contexts and in many practical situations also, when these interpretations are going on, time and again it haunts the mind. What is this? What is its significance? Why should it be when karma itself is, karma sannyasa is prescribed? Then what is that adhikara and all those things will keep haunting. That's why I asked. As you said, maybe we have to go further to unravel this secret of this.
Yeah. See, that the simple meaning is very, very straightforward. Karmani eva adhikaraha. You have only the, what you call adhikara. Adhikara, the word, I don't want to translate in English but you know the meaning of it. Adhikara means it is not responsibility. It's responsibility along with what you call
eligibility, qualification.
Competency, yes.
Yeah.
So that aspect, karmani, is what there, when you are doing a karma, you are not doing it just for the sake of doing it. You know your limitation, you know strength, weakness, all those things. You have to execute that. And you will be executing in a perfection because you have got competency for it. So no mistake will happen on your place. Right? So when that is there, you don't have to worry about the fruits of action. Because if you have done 100%, it has to come.
Yeah.
Right? So that is what Krishna is intending by karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Then the second line is also important. Ma karma phala hedurpu mate sangastu agarmani. Just because this is like this, you should not be attracted towards inaction. Because your karma, what is there, you have to do that. He is not talking about the Vedika karmas. He is talking about our ordinary life karmas. Yes.
Okay, Vindoji. Thank you, Vindoji.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Binduji, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
So, yeah. So this, there is, I think it is very important to draw a line between Nitya Naimittika, like you were stressing on it yesterday, right, for one of the thing, and Kamya Karma. And especially when the, so yeah, right now at the end you said that karma is again not Vaidika karma, but that I will leave it for the third chapter maybe. But in this Bhashya, whatever is covered, it is clear that it is Vedokta karma, right? The
Right.
Nitya Naimittika. So, one of the things I understand from Vedokta karma is there is this something called Sankalpa that is said before the starting, right? That I am doing it for this fruit or something like that. So,
Right.
in the modern context, there is nobody, like in a very rough way, there might be some people somewhere in the corner who might be doing it like that, but generally nobody is doing this kind of Vedokta karma, if we say, like maybe I don't know, in this
Right.
room, if we take, right? You understand that, yeah.
Right.
So then in this context, then karma sannyasa, is it that everybody, since they are not doing it, one way, are they all karma sannyasins, or it's another way you said is that there should be a cycles, like for example, the Pariksha Lokan's shloka, that guy did it for many years and he understood that na akrita kritena. So,
Right.
so he did a very technical kind of karma kanda. Basically, what I understand by Vedokta karma kanda is it's a very proper, precise way of doing stuff, right? So then, how does in the practical world that we live in, then how does that even make sense, right? This
Very good.
yeah. So can you
Very valid question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, understand one thing. Shankaracharya, when he wrote the commentary and all, he was bringing back a Vaitika Marga into the society, which the society has abandoned due to the influence of Buddhism and Jainism. And lot of people have abandoned the Vaidika Marga and has taken to that path. And even ordinary people have forgotten lot of the Vaidika Margas, like how we are today. Right? So, his priority was, why did the people leave the Vaidika Marga and go to Buddhism, Jainism, etc., or abandon it totally and became Nastikas and other formers of belief? Because he found that the karmas which have been followed by the Vaidikas have been misused and deteriorated to such an extent that only certain people were getting benefited out of it. And those who are benefiting it were some way or the other, what were they doing? They monopolized it in such that they don't want it to go to anybody else. And those people were called Brahmins. And what happened was that because of that reason, Shankaracharya found that even little bit of Vaidika knowledge which is prevalent in the country will finish very soon. So for him to re-establish, he had to, staying within the Vedas, he had to establish in such a way that the Vaidika karma is not for moksha. For moksha, the same Vedas is talking about the Upanishad. And then he wrote the commentaries on the Upanishad, highlighting that Atma Brahman and the methodology of achieving the mumukshutva. For that, he wanted that the Vaidika karmas has to be abandoned. Now, there he used the term Sarva Karma Sannyasa for addressing the Vaidikas to, so that they don't misuse the Vaidika karmas, and at the same time, they don't, monopolize it in such a way that it can be revived by the subsequent generations. So when he did that, Shankaracharya's attention was to bring in Vaidika Marga back into the society. Today, thousands of years have gone and we have no Vaidika Marga, as you rightly said, in the society, except some, secluded places. If somebody is doing, it is being done. That's all. But that they are also, for their living, they cannot survive only on that. So they do a double job, being a normal person in the normal time and doing Vaidika only as and when required. This is what we are seeing in today's society. So what today we have to understand is that we cannot go by the Vaidika karma alone. We have to go from the kartaram, karta and bhoktaram. This karta and bhokta aspect, whether it is Vaidika or non-Vaidika, we have to take both into account. But not to say that Shankaracharya said both the karmas there. No. Shankaracharya was very clear that he was addressing only Vaidika karmas. Because he addressed only the Trivarnika. That is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. He has not even addressed this to Shudra or Stri or Varna Bahya. So that cannot be taken into our category today. So when we are talking about guidance will be taken from Shankaracharya for decoding the slokas, but it has to be explained in today's prevalent manner in which this can be accepted by the society and it will be beneficial to the society. That is what the modern methodology, especially Swami Chinmayananda and Vivekananda, those people who have modernized these verses have addressed it. They didn't stick to Shankara Bhashya at all. They have learned Shankara Bhashya, but they narrated it addressing the modern scientific youth in mind. So that is something which we have to keep it in mind when we are explaining it.
Yeah. Thank you, Binduji. So then this will also apply to the other shloka which is being quoted, right? 3.3 Lokesmin Dvida Nishta.
That's why I will be reading Shankara Bhashya, but when I am explaining it, I will explain it with today's situation in mind. Guidance will be from Shankaracharya's decoding of the mantra, but it has to be seen in today's scenario.
So in that also when it says karma yogina, that karma should Shankaracharya
include all karmas, including all karmas.
Okay. But the problem is, I think there is a sophistication to the Vedokta karmas, right? Which lacks for a normal karmas that we. So doesn't it get? It feels like it is very diluted to apply to every other karma, right? So that's what I was thinking.
No, it is. See, that every karma doesn't mean that our breathing, eating, sopan, all those things which you are being talked about. It is talked about where the kartaham idi manni. I am the doer, that feeling in any action it is there. That is the one which is to be sannyasa. I am breathing is not a thought which we are doing every time. But if suddenly somebody asks, yes, I am breathing. But I don't have an ego to breathe. That only when I am having an ego, it is my breath. I will not give you the breath, or I will not let go the air. Nothing of that sort will be done by anybody else. So what we have to understand is that the part of the ego is more important than anything else in those karmas. That is where we have to bring in the sannyasa.
Yeah, thank you, Binduji. I don't know. I'll let Anu continue. I have one small, it's a boring question, but I will ask later.
Yeah, you can. Namaste, Anu.
Namaste, Binduji. Okay, my question is like if you renounce ego or your I, then aren't you already don't you already realize self or Atma then?
Only when you can do it 100%, you can be called that you are a realized person.
No, but you said that if you have to renounce your ego to what do you say?
Yes.
Uh,
How will you renounce your ego? You have to renounce your ego is the final step for achieving that jnana. Right. But how will you renounce your ego? You have to learn that jnana as taught in the Upanishad and Gita, etc., and apply it to yourself to such an extent that you realize that the ego is a false image I have created for my waker. For a dreamer, there is a separate ego as a dreamer. The waker dreamer is different. The dreamer ego is different. So the ego which I am holding on the waker has no validity in the rest of my other two experiences of dreaming and deep sleep. So I am holding on to a foolish behavior, thinking that this is the everything, because I am creating now a story based on this ego, that I am the human being, I am such and such a person, so much age and relationship, wealth, all those things are based on that. But what happens to them when I am in dream? None of them are accompanying me there. In the deep sleep, both of them have gone. So I am left with no possession, not even my name, form or etc. So such a situation is the place where we will be, realizing that state is also available where I don't have an ego. That it is not impossible for me to be a person without ego. Because naturally we are leaving our ego when we go to deep sleep. If I can achieve that on every time when I go to deep sleep, why cannot I know that is my true nature even for my waker? And the belief that I am an egoistic person in the waker is a foolish idea on my side. So I should abandon that.
yes.
That is how we have to work on that.
Okay. Okay. Now I wanted not so about directly about Gita. Like Buddha, he was 2500 years ago. He was here on earth, and Gita is at about 5000 years ago. So when he went about looking for Gyan, then why did he not find like everything is there in Gita, no? But he searched all over and he didn't find any whatever was available he used and went to like from one to like I don't know how many states of meditative stages, but ultimately he had to there was none available, and he had to sit down to become enlightened on his own. So why was like why was this Gita Gyan wasn't there that time?
Okay. First and foremost, we do not have any historical documentation available on Buddha except what was written by the Light of Asia by a foreigner. That is where the whole thing started. Even though Buddhism was prevalent in India, they also did not have much knowledge about what Siddhartha, who became Buddha, what he did, how he lived and everything. It's all folklore and stories, Jataka tales, etc. We have so many places where it is bits and pieces. So this foreigner, I forget his name, he wrote this Light of Asia book. First, that is the time when the life history of Buddha was written by a continuous form, because he collected from different places and wrote it. But understanding from what was prevalent during those days, he being a son of a Kshatriya Raja, it is possible that he would have been also taught on the Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas, all and the other forms of because those days that was the education, not that education which we are seeing today of physics, chemistry, biology, etc. Those days this was the education in the Gurukula for every king and every Vaishya or every Brahmana child to undergo. So necessarily Buddha would have gone through that. He got a what you call mental change, attitudinal change when he saw death or old age while traveling through the city. Even though he in the kingdom or in the palace, he was not exposed to any torture or anything with which his mind can be becomes melancholic, because his father was told that your son, seeing the pity of the pathetic state of human life, will take to sannyasa. So his father wanted to avoid that aspect to take place in the Siddhartha. So he was never allowed exposed. Only once when he went along, he happened to see an old person, and then he started thinking, if this is what is the end of the life is like, what is life? What is this? What I am looking at it? Who am I actually? That question came to him. That is the time when he abandons his wife and child and he goes in search of the reality. He goes through all sorts of torture, including pulling his hair from the bodily torture to such an extent so that he will start hating his own body. But that didn't happen. Finally, when he under the sitting in the Bodha Gaya, when he meditated upon the teachings which he had in this thing, he realized that what is the reality. That is when he got a knowledge of the self. Having got the knowledge of the self, he understood that how the Vedas are being misused by the certain class of people, including slaughtering animals in the name of Veda. It is told that the whole country was waking up with the cry of animals being butchered for yaga. Till they go to sleep in the night, it was only animals crying in this part of the country. That was the situation it is in those days. Fed up with that, he discarded Vedas are requirement at all, saying that these people are misusing. Like how today's priest class, in the name of temples, if you go, you will find that there are people who are, touts, giving you special ticket, special this thing, they want money or this thing from you, all in the name of fear of God. But the real God, nobody is teaching you. So these are the things even today where it's happening. What Buddha faced then, 2500 years, is virtually happening even today. So there is no difference between the two. In between, there will be some, turning point where people will become more morally bound, and then again it will start deteriorating, because the basic problem which Krishna says is that, that expectation. Sangat samjayade kama, kamat brodho vijayade, kodat bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti brahmshat, buddhinasha pranasyati. That statement which is in the second chapter when he says that, it shows that from attachment to things is what is the downfall of the human being. And that is continuously happening even today. So when we talk about Buddha, we should understand these were the backgrounds with which he had done it. What torture he went through and all is there in the book, The Light of Asia. You can read that.
Thank you so much. You explained very well.
Thank you. Namaste, Sachidananda.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
So I just had a question or clarification that I wanted to get your thoughts on that. I totally understand from the Adi Shankara point of view when for the Mimamsikas to basically discourage the animal slaughter. Those that way of enlightenment that Mimamsa followed. So his approach, like you already explained that about why the Vedanta approach was proposed by him. But when it comes to basically if somebody is a karma sannyasi or sees the whole existence as one, does it really matter what that person does? That person could be Mimamsa is an approach towards mukti, but otherwise whether he does yajna or he is doing any other work, does it really matter? Seeing the wholeness as one, basically after at that point it doesn't really matter what he or she does, right? Everything just is a arpana to the ultimate. Is that a right thought?
Sachidananda, I'll explain it in a way which will be much easily understood by all of us.
Okay, thank you.
We are there in a situation and activities are going on. We indulging in it and we are seeing other persons also indulging in different activities. So that is the scenario. And suddenly you realize that you are dreaming all this thing and you woke up. Now, after waking up, will you be still worried whether you were indulging in the activity and others were indulging in activity, whether they will be still going on with that? You want to go back and see, will there be any temptation on your side? You won't, because you know it was a dream. Same way, a jnani, having realized that I am not the physical body, this is a experience which I was going through as a waker. He is no more in the body as an ego, individual. But for others, he is still there, walking, eating, sleeping, and all those things are happening. So for others, he is a real. From his point of view, he is not there at all because he has become one with Atma. Right? So, others will evaluate him based on what? That is where the body is doing what it is supposed to be doing because it is no more his creation. It is a requirement of other people. So, they will give the value what he is doing. Now, for example, that only in our Shastras, we have people like Shuka, who is a naked youngster walking around in the world without any attachment to anything. We have other end, Janaka, who was a king of Mithila and ruling the country. We have then the butcher, we have a prostitute. All of them are, even a sannyasini as Sulabha, all of them are there in the Shastras as example. It is not that Shastra is telling from 2 points of view. One is from the people who have not realized how a jnani is there. So, whether he is sleeping under a tree, or whether he is sitting in a palace, or whether he is a beggar, or whether he is married, nothing matters to the one who has realized. From his point of view, he doesn't see anything other than Atma. He doesn't breathe anything other than Atma. He doesn't touch anything other than Atma. From his point of view, the world of waking itself is not there. So from that individuality is gone. So when the individuality is gone, will there be any activity from his side? No. But others' individuality have not gone, who has created his world, where this person is also a part of the world. So from his point of view, this person now, whether he is realized or not, the other person cannot make out. Just as I was telling Venkat about his coffee in the morning, what taste he had, only Venkat will know. But others who have seen him having coffee cannot imagine what is the taste, how he enjoyed it or not. But we will all say that, oh, he had coffee. That way, all the people will say, oh, this person is talking the, philosophy, so he is a jnani. It is the way in which we evaluate the person who is speaking the truth. But his experience of Sarvatma Bhava, that is something which cannot be transmitted or explained or even, demonstrated. That what demonstration will happen is depending upon how others watch it. Whether he is Ramana Maharshi or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Vivekananda or Nisargadatta Maharaj, or these are the people whom we call it as realized people. But other than that, there are millions of people who have realized, but we cannot make out whether they are realized or not, because they may not be opening their mouth. We don't know. Right?
Yes, Pinjali. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's makes a lot of sense. I mean, the thing is, it's very difficult to. I mean, even all the people that you mentioned, they also, like, I've read like a lot of works of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj or Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Everybody says it's at that point it cannot be communicated. It cannot be put in words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sachidananda. Thank you, Jadaveji. That Edwin Arnold is the one who wrote that book, Light of Asia. Okay, no more questions. We can close, I think.
Okay, Binduji. Thank you again for the deep dive into Sarva Karma Siddhanta. And we touched upon a lot about what sannyasa is. So, again, very profound discussions. So, thank you everyone for coming, and for those who came up and asked questions, a special thank you. And for the audience, as usual, thanks for coming to this house and participating in the discussions. So we'll meet again Sunday at 8:30 p.m. IST for an open discussion. This was actually Bhagavad Gita pertaining discussion. So we'll have an open discussion on Sunday where we'll take broader questions. Bindoji will clarify through the lens of Advaita mostly. And then the following Monday, we'll resume again the Bhagavad Gita classes, starting with class number 19. Again, as I reminded, the replays are available on YouTube. If you want to go catch up on the replay of the previous class, it will be very useful to follow on the lectures. So again, thank you very much, Bindoji. And with that, I will pass it on to you to close the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Venkat, Srini, Ganesh, Anu, Sachidananda, and Satya for coming up and discussing with me for the various aspects. And all of you there who have been listening patiently and have not asked any questions till now, I hope you have also enjoyed being there in this room. Those who are, YouTube has got, as Prakash said, YouTube is the Advaita Retold. Even on Apple Podcast, if you search for a channel called Advaita Retold, you can get all of them, all the previous lectures, everything. Same way in Spotify also. Spotify, but it is not that categorized everything. It is available as different playlist as available. So choice is yours. Whichever one is your preferred platform, you can listen to those recordings of the past classes. Thank you all. Hari Om. Good night.
Good night, Manoj.